Heidi, why are we here today?
Because it's Volunteer Day, and it's Volunteer Week, and we are celebrating our volunteers today with these hourly broadcasts. Yay!
Thank you. Well, that's right. It is all about our volunteers because, as you probably all know, as you should know, we are a nonprofit organization. And, I get asked that a lot here at the Bear Center. Well, how do you make money? How does the Bear Center survive? And that kind of talks about sustainability. But, hey, we get funding through gift shop, admissions, donations, bequests, whatever, and the hard work of all kinds of volunteers, beside a real energetic staff here at the Bear Center. So, and it's a small staff, but it's a dynamic staff, and, I know, Heidi, you've done a lot of things. I mean, you're the business manager, but you've also helped on a lot of other behind-the-scenes things, too, that you'd say, well, that doesn't fit a business manager's job description. Well, when you got a small staff, you just do what you got to do, right? But let's talk about not so much the paid staff, but we got to talk about all those volunteers that not just are here, but the ones that are far, far away, and helping make this broadcast happen. So you want to talk about the volunteer teams?
Of course I do.
Of course.
Of course I do. After taking the volunteer coordinator position, I was able to log into the Volgistics website, which if you're a volunteer, you're familiar with that site because that's where you needed to go to turn in your applications and whatnot to Terry and Myra, or even now if you're applying, that's where the information goes to. And what astounded me on that site was all the different teams. Having worked here for the past 5 years now, even being in the office and seeing all sorts of paperwork come across my desk, there is a lot that's done that we really didn't know about. So it really opened my eyes up in that way. So basically what I'm going to do is go down the list of teams which I believe to be active, and I'm going to try to touch on all of them. I know there's some people out there who aren't necessarily part of a team at all, and they just kind of do their own thing and wing it in at different times. You know who you are. I know who you are, and I appreciate you and everything that you do for us. So for the rest of you who are on the teams, we appreciate you too, and I know who you are as well, but I'm just going to run down the different teams so you are aware of what else is going on out there in case you decide to be like, hey, I don't feel I'm too active here, or I have a little bit more time that I can help out in this area, and that might help direct you to where you want to go with your time, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So we've got our bear educators. Those are the volunteers that I see the most here on site. I collect their hours, and I get them in to Laura Lynch, which, again, get your hours in if we're going to get these pins and meet that goal. Bear Eds do a lot here for us on site. In addition to taking care of the 4 ambassador bears, there's a lot that they do with the public. They help us out immensely when it comes to groups, whether it's just large groups of people that are wandering through on a rainy day, or whether it's a classroom that comes through to visit. We do rely on our volunteers to really help us out, and a lot of them have different experience, whether it's teaching or whatever, they really add a lot of flavor, and we're very appreciative of what they're able to do for us. It's not all fun and games, though. At site here, you get to do all sorts of really fun jobs like dusting exhibits. That's a good one. Time-consuming, tedious, needs to be done, as well as even just picking up around the parking lot. So that's kind of what the Bear Eds do here on site. I know they have to go through training that JT teaches along with Sharon, so if that's something that you're possibly interested in the future, I believe you require 100 hours for that one. Yep, there is an hour requirement to be on that team. I do not believe that there are any hour requirements for any other of our volunteer teams besides the Bear Eds. That's just the one that we kind of ask. So we're going to move right along here. Next one is the Bear Facts and Fun. These guys put together information, right? Bear facts. They make it fun. They put it on all our social pages, the Facebook pages, mainly is really where it goes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep, a little bit.
Yeah, actually it goes out on social media, and, Bear Facts, they do make it fun. They usually have a couple pictures, and what's most important about Bear Facts and Fun is it's factual.
Right, and it's something that's a little tidbit of information that you could share if you chose to on your Facebook page. You know, you'd be like, oh, I like this post, click, you know, and share it with your friends and family and hopefully draw more interest and, you know, bring something to their attention that they might not have known otherwise. And I really believe that that's what that team's about. Then we go on down to the ecology research team. This group was responsible for putting together our touch screens that we have here on site. Is that correct?
Yes.
And JT told me today it was about 4,000 hours logged just on those touch screens that we have in the back ecology hall. And I just dropped a bomb on her today on how I was like, I like those touch screens so much, I want them here, and I want them here. So she's like, oh, that's 4,000 hours. I was like, oh, that's a lot, but I think it could be done. And we'll see what happens in the future, but that's a huge part. I mean, as JT said earlier, there's not much for staff here on site, and in the wintertime, we're very much busy preparing for what we're going to bring next summer to make it exciting for visitors and for our volunteers and everybody who helps out. So to have people off-site take care of looking up, you know, all the information on the red squirrel that they can find, we're very grateful for you to take the time and do that because it was a lot of work. Next, we move to our Facebook mods. These guys are responsible for the Facebook pages and keeping them updated and current with events like what's going on today or any specials that might be going on in the gift shop. I know they put on, you know, ads when we have sales, clearance sales going on, or when the calendars come out. That's a very exciting time. You know, they, as well as taking care to make sure that nobody gets too rowdy on the Facebook pages and keeping it family friendly, yes, for all the little eyes that might be peeping along and checking us out. The next ones that we have, I know I had the mapping research team, that's what they're called, and they come during the fall and usually in September, and they work out at the WRI and they map the trails that are out there in that area. And basically just the month of September is they're out there for that. After that, we have our Lily fundraiser team. I work with these guys pretty regularly. They come up with some great ideas, have throughout the years, for helping us raise money here and helping people who are like our chatters and other people who get involved online, you know, and participate. And there's usually some great prizes that go along with these fundraisers, and really the work that they put into it and helping build something such as this, or, you know, whatever the money is pointed at for different things. I know it's been used for the bear enclosure before for putting new plants out there, all sorts of different stuff.
Finishing this exhibit recently.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, so we appreciate our fundraising team. We've got media relations. We've got someone who takes care of getting stuff out on a nationwide, you know, level, which is great to have. We also have membership. We've got someone who takes care of notifying people when their memberships are going to be coming up for renewal. We're very appreciative of her being able to take care of those letters for us and getting those out. I forget stuff all the time, so it's great to have somebody who sends out letters like that. Our pond chat mods, they put in a ton of time, and they help keep the chat clean. They let us know what's going on with those bears, because we don't always see them. You know, when we're sitting in our office staring at our computers, working on spreadsheets, we don't know what's going on with the, you know, if Holly's eating a camera. We don't know until they tell us. So.
And they take some great videos of, especially this year, Holly and Lucky with their evening antics.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And then they're able to get, when they record those videos, those get shared by the Facebook mods, right, onto the Facebook pages, right? It's very interesting to see, and it's very heartwarming to see how much all these volunteers, you all work together so well in different levels. That's neat to see. I'm sure you guys have all bonded different relationships, you know, met lots of like-minded people, which is a really neat thing about this program, too. Helps keep it kind of that family feel. After Pond Chat mods, we've got our Speakers Bureau. These are individuals who go out in their communities, whether it's in a school or whether it's a nursing home or a library, right. It's also different areas, and they give a little talk or have a presentation that they were taught by, I believe it was a couple years ago. There was a training session that went on, and they kind of did that, and it's great to have them get that word out in their communities where they're seeing some bear activity. It's a nice program to have. Then we go to Team Forward. One of those members is here today. You saw him earlier. This group basically does anything they're asked to do. Not that the rest of you don't. They come here, Mo takes the videos, or I know that during different events, they're the ones that are responsible for standing next to the table to make sure I don't eat too many cookies, or or they help clean up sort of stuff. Yep, they do. You put them on a project, they take care of it. I know they've handled surveys in the past for us, so I really believe that that's how that team was formed. Then we got our visitor groups team, which handles getting some groups coming to the North American Bear Center. I know we've got lots of groups that come here. This is the time of year it really starts to go into effect. So in addition to the people that we have on site helping us handle the sizable groups that come through, we also have somebody on the outside directing those teachers or whoever it is to contact us and set up that time in advance so we're prepared for them and they have the best experience they can while on site here. In addition to all that, we've got the volunteer admins. Those are the two ladies that took care of this position before I stepped into it. They're still very much involved. We've got research associates. They work with Dr. Rogers out at WRI and handle a lot of the
Stuff out there?
Yep, stuff out there. That's how I'm going to say that. We've got our grant teams. That's kind of a self-explanatory deal, but, as a nonprofit, we are looking for money all the time.
And another reason for turning in your hours, it helps with grants.
Yeah, absolutely it does. No, JT brought up a good point. If you didn't hear, another really good reason for turning in your hours is helping with grants. I see that, and I've seen that in paperwork that I've had to push through before sitting in my position. So please turn in your hours. And then, of course, the WRI admin support team out there, the folks who handle the paperwork for Lynn, that's that's a big part of the team out there. So that's a lot. That's a lot of different teams, and I wasn't skilled enough or didn't have enough foresight to figure out how many people were on each team. But there's about 133 of you out there total right now. Active volunteers, yep, and that's not, counting the folks that are, waiting for a project to come up where they can hop in and be active again. So we're very, very grateful for the time that you put in and continue to give to us. JT, do you have anything to add?
Well, as a volunteer, I know people's lives change. Whether it's a job change, maybe you're going to retire, who knows? There's all kinds of job things that can happen in your lives. But, volunteering can be seasonal. Whether just for an example, because I'm familiar with it, a bear educator, maybe that's kind of seasonal. Yeah. But let's say you're busy during that time of the year, and you got all kinds of time in the winter, and you'd like to volunteer for maybe 3-4 months in the winter. Well, some of these teams are seasonal. Some of them get active at different times of the year. And so always think about that. When do you have time to give to the Bear Center? What are your skills? And some of you, if you want to update your volunteer form, your document, maybe you've gotten the last couple of years, you've really gotten better at some skill that you'd like us to know about. Maybe you've changed addresses, phone numbers, emails, all that kind of contact, because we want to stay in contact with you. And if you become more available and say, I really would like to get on a team that does this, I think you'd like to know that, wouldn't you, Heidi? Absolutely. And so don't ever think that, and you can be on more than one, can you be on more than one team? Is that okay?
Yes.
It's okay. So people have asked, well, I'm on one team, can I be on another? You absolutely can. And I know there are teams out here that, well, I'll just speak for myself. I've made friends because I volunteer here at the Bear Center that I would never have had the opportunity to make friends with. Some of them I'm friends and I've probably never met them, but I feel that they're good friends. And that's rewarding in itself, beside the fact that you're helping the Bear Center.
Right. That's well said. Well, thank you for tuning in for this 11 o'clock broadcast of Volunteer Week here at the North American Bear Center. And we encourage you to tune back in at noon and see what we have in store for you then. Thank you.